Today we're gonna do a mini little tutorial on brows. Also, I'm just gonna prime my face. I do like to prime my brow area. For the longest, I thought I had Smashbox, but it's Maybelline, and it's Blur and Pore Minimize. But I basically just prime in this area before I do my brows. I really prime all over my face, but that's not what we're discussing today. So you'll just see me. Your eyebrows are not twins. They are sisters. And I heard this a while ago. So they're not twins, they're sisters. So let's just act like it. It took a long time for me to understand that. To this day, I still like to be a perfectionist when it comes to my brows. And for your brows, first things first, you want to line your brow up in a realistic manner. That's how I like to put it. You just want to line the bottom of your brow. Don't worry about any little I call them mistakes. I guess they're not really mistakes, but don't worry about any little mistakes that happen along the way. We're just gonna stick with mistakes because you can always clean those up at the end. But I always like to start here when lining my brow. I start here. The reason that I start here is to make my brow look realistic. If you can see, I don't have many hairs here, but I like to start here because that's where the first hair starts on my brow. You just can't see it because it's not as much hair as the rest of my brow. So I'm going to continue with my pencil across my brow line, making sure my finger or my hand is steady. And once I get here, I like to stop. The reason that I like to stop is because I determine how far this line goes based off of my top line on my brow. If you can see, I've stopped here. So based off of my top line will be based off of how long I elongate this bottom line here, if elongate is a word. And when I go to apply my liner at the top of my brow, I like to start where it's most full, and we'll talk about why later. So I'll start where it's most full for my brow, and I'll line that realistically. Okay, so here, right off in here, is where we're going to start. We're going to start not blending, excuse me. We are going to start shading in. Now notice I stopped my brow right here. Make sure that you stop somewhere realistic as well. You don't want your brows to go past here, because if you do, then it won't look, I mean, of course we know that they're like filled in, but we don't want them to look as filled in. I mean, they're gonna look filled in, but we want them to look a little natural or something. I don't know. So we're gonna take the brush, we're gonna begin to fill it in here. And you just want to very lightly brush inside of your brow. You don't want to apply it too much. And as you brush, I would advise to stop here. As you fill in, I would advise to stop like right in the mid, keeping the beginning part of your eyebrow unfilled. And that's when we're going to come in with the spoolie, because what we're going to do is begin to shade it in. And when you shade it in, that's when you're going to see what look it is that you're going for. Yay! All right. Continue to fill it. And in the front area here, what you want to do is go even lighter when filling it in, because you want to be able to have some type of naturalness to your brows. And of course, we know, well, most people, the beginning of your brows are not as thick as the, you know, tail end of your brow. So you want to be sure that you're shading it in very, very lightly, especially when you come to the front. Now, I advised earlier, and if I didn't advise, I'm going to advise that this brush, you want to go super light here. But when you get here, you can apply it a little heavier. The reason being is because you want to take off some of that liner that you put to the beginning of your brow, and that is because you want it to look as natural as possible. And if you just notice what I did, I not only filled in and shaved in this area, but I also began to shade in the line at the top. And the reason being is because we want to make sure that your brow looks as natural as possible. And you can take your finger to get some of the, you're not going to be able to see this, but no, you can't see it. I don't know why my nail looks dirty, because it's not dirty, but anyway, you want to get some of the liner off and continue to blend to your liking. And just, I don't know why I keep saying blend, but shade into your liking. Now, once I feel that my brow is all filled in, put that back some, or I can really put it in a ponytail for you guys. If that's something that you would like to do, just tell me what you want me to do. You know, you did step 1 and 2. Step 1, fill your brow. 2, fill it in. And once you get it all filled in and looking like that, you basically, I struggle with like dry skin in certain spots, so I just rehydrate it. But basically, once you achieve this, the most important part about your brows, like, I can't stress it enough, is the cleanup part. So that's when you basically just take a little bit of your concealer onto whatever brush you're going to, I don't know how people do that, whatever brush you're going to use to conceal your face. You're going to take it and you're going to simply line your brows. Line them. Line. Making sure that you're keeping in mind your shape for your brows. It's okay if you cut into your brow. It's perfectly fine, because you're going to straighten it all up. So it's okay. All right. Once I achieve the look that I'm going for, I do my little dance in the mirror because I know I'm cute. I'm joking. I'm not joking because I do that, but that's not a part of the tutorial. Once you achieve that, you go back in the top. Now, when you go in the top to the when you go to the top, you want to use a darker concealer. I'm going to use my LA Girl Pro concealer in the color Toffee. The reason that you want to go back in with the dark color is because your highlight on your face is going to go here. It's going to mainly highlight these areas. It's not really so much going to highlight this area. You can use the same color if you'd like, but if you're not going to wear any foundation or anything like that, it'll be best to just use your not your LA, but it'll be best to use a darker color, just because that's basically going to have a natural effect with your brows. It's gonna look natural. That highlight up there is not gonna be too much, and you can always, of course, blend that into your liking and make it match, you know, your skin. So I'm gonna go in with the color Toffee. I'm not gonna use much at all, especially on my top brow. I'm kind of just gonna clean it up and give it that poppin' brow look. That is another secret of mine. I wouldn't even say a secret because I'm pretty sure a lot of people do it, but it is another thing where if you're wanting your brows to really pop, to make sure that you do the top part as well when you conceal, because sometimes what I do is I'll just do the bottom part and I'll leave the top part as is because it looks really natural. It's not really, you know, it's not too much. It's not that bad at the top. I mean, it looks like it's straight. It doesn't look like super duper bad. So you can definitely keep it like this, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to show you how to, or tell you basically, to do the top part of your brow as well. And let's see. Let's go. So it's going to be kind of hard for me to do it in this mirror, but I'm going to try to do it. So because I am doing that, because this brow was a little thick, I'm going to wipe my brush off, because as you see, it will get the liner on the brush, and you don't want to travel that the entire way through. So I'm going to wipe that off a little, and then I'm going to go back in with my brush, with my LA Pro Concealer Girl on my brush. And I am going to make sure that I am steady with my hands and continue. If you can see, you may not really be able to tell, but I am able to tell that this part is lighter than this part. Making sure that you blend it all the way through. Now, as you can see, like over your brow a little, that's okay. You can always go back in with the liner and fix that. And boom, voila. So this is my completed brow look, ladies. I hope you guys enjoyed this video.